Hi, I'm Ross MacDonald from Loop Tackle, and I'm going to show you a pattern of mine called the Calvin Shrimp. It's named after my son and is a fly that I first tied for fishing on the Thurso River. And it's a pattern that does particularly well in peaty water. So, first things first, the hook. So typically I make my shrimps on size 12 or 14 doubles. If there's a bit more water about, I probably switch to a small cone head or tube. The thread we're going to use is a 12-0. This is a Loop's fluorescent red thread. It's it's hot orange really to my eye, and it's an ideal colour for the Calvins. Size 12 is a really good size of thread. I hope it keeps things nice and neat, and heavier diameter thread can often lead to a kind of lumpier finish on your fly. So let's get started. So just attach the thread, create a nice flat tying base. So I've just wound down toward the point of the hooks, and then I'm going to make another couple of turns back up, and then I'm going to catch in my oval tinsel, and I'm going to make the butt of the fly. So I'm just going to wrap the tinsel around the hook, touching turns back towards the bend, a couple of turns, 3-4 turns, and then the final one I'm going to bring the tinsel up between the legs of the hook and then trap it in place with some thread. Get that tied off and neatened up. Good, so that's the butt done. Now, before we go any further, I'm going to add a little bit of varnish just to secure things. Grand. Okay, so the tail in the Calvins. Like the tail, most of my shrimps are made from Arctic Runner or Icelandic Pony. For me, it's the perfect material for shrimp fly tails. It's soft and it's mobile, and if you layer it correctly, you can make a really nice mobile tail. So just take a little bit of this off and just pull out a little bit of the fluffier stuff. I'm going to tie this first section in. It's going to be quite a short section, and the purpose behind it really is to add a little bit of lift and support for the longer, thinner section I'm going to put over it just now. So I'm just going to nip it there. Now, I like to trim the butt ends sort of halfway up the fly, because I'm always mindful of where I'm going to finish the body of the fly, because I still have hackles and things to add in. So it's just a good, useful aide-memoire to cut it about the middle of the fly. Okay, so I'll add a bit of flash. Just a bit of orange light bright here, or angel hair. Double it over. Double over again, and then tie it off so you've got 4 legs, if you like, of flash, all at different lengths. Grand. Good-o. So the next bit, this is the longer, thinner part of the tail, and this is what gives the fly its real wiggle. So again, Arctic Runner, this time orange, and I'm just going to pop that on. And again, I like a kind of few long guard hairs sticking out the back of it. I think it just adds to the wiggle of the fly. So it's up to you how long you make your tail. I like them quite long. And same thing, just nip off the butt ends there. And then a little bit more flash material, this time red. Light brighter angel here, and same thing, just pop it in and trim it so that you've got 4 legs of different lengths. Okay, good. And then lastly, to finish the tail off, a little bit of pink or magenta runner as well. And this just is a nice little bit of extra colour, and also this helps with the structure of the tail. And so just check that for size. Yeah, it looks fine to me. Pretty good. And then trim her off. All good. So then we're just going to tidy up in front of us a little bit. Okay. So I'm just going to add the rib. We're just using a Mirage tinsel rib for this. Just tie it in, secure it. All good. And then again, we're going to just add a little touch of varnish to the body to help the seals first stick to it. Yeah, so the body is this is seal's fur, and I've just mixed it up with some yellow light bright. So we'll just roll it onto the thread. You get a nice wee rope. Not really too much if it's hanging off the bottom, and we'll just wrap that on a few turns. And just be mindful, and won't we come too far forward here, remembering where we kind of trimmed the butt ends of the runner. Then we can just tie that off. Just discard that, put it away for another day. Good. Yeah, the body should be kind of straggly and not too neat. Right. So we'll just add the rib, just a couple of turns of the Mirage tinsel. Get that tied in. Then secure it. Be good. We're just neaten things up a touch. Magic. So next bit is we're going to add a wing, and in this case it's just orange fox. So just trim a little bit of that. Try to get rid of some of the fluffier bits. There we go. And then just pop that one. Just again, and we're just looking for it to come around to just about the bend of the hook. Good, so get that in there. Tie her off. Grand. Yeah, that was tidy up in front of us. So we're going to add our jungle cock cheeks, which I think always sets off any of my shrimp flies. I'll just pop that in, and the same on the other side, and stick it on there. Just have a wee look along them. Just we want them the same length. Then we're just going to bend back these stems, lock them in. There's nothing worse than losing a jungle cock cheek. So that's them locked in, and then we're going to add our hackles. So we've got two hackles on the Calvins, and the first is just Chinese cock. This is hot orange, and I like to dress it quite long actually for the size of fly. So what I'm looking for here is the sort of there's a sweet spot with the longest barb and still with a thin stem. I don't want to be wrapping any thick quill round the hook, so I'm just looking for that sort of sweet spot. And that's about there, I think. Good. So just going to put a little nick around each side of the feather, just to create a wee herringbone, and that helps us when we tie it in. So I'm just going to wet the feather and pull all the barbs forward, and so now it's folded in half. With the the shiny side of the feather should be on the outside. And then we're just going to manipulate it as best we can to get the barbs as square as possible to the quill. That's okay. And then just pop that on. A couple of turns to secure it. I'm going to secured the feather in, and we're just going to make a few wraps around the hook. We'll just take this bobbin out of the way. Just make a few turns, and as we do it, we're just going to rotate the feather toward the bend of the hook as we come up over the shank. There we go, pushing all those barbs backwards. And then that's our underneath. Good. Tie it off. Grand. So we just bend the quill back, tie it in, and that'll keep it locked. Good. Then let's get it to the tip here. Good. Hackle's looking nice. And then finally, we're going to add a red badger. It's got nice and dark streaked in the middle of it, which I really like. I think it really sets the fly off. So again, just going to wet the barbs, double them over, and then pull them so that they're standing straight from the quill. So there you go. Pop them on. Back in the quilt. And then just make the last few wraps with thread of the feather. There we go. And just rotating that feather as we come over the top. Just keep that bobbin out of the way. Just get rid of that. That will do us. So we'll tie it off best we can, and if there's any kind of rogue barbs kicking about, we can push them back or just cut them off if they're in the way. Don't let it cause you a problem. So when we're getting there, we'll just trim that. Get the tip of the yeah, that's all looking good. So just a few more turns just to make our head. And then we'll do a few whip finishes. Just to secure it. And that's it. That's a Calvin shrimp on a size 12 double.